Hello guys, welcome to this video. So what we're doing today is this Lamine Yamal poster, which I posted on my Instagram. I'll basically link my social media handle down in the description in case you want to follow me and keep track of my posts. But just to keep everything short, we're going to do this Lamine Yamal poster, and I'm going to take you guys through how I came about this final design. Right, it's quite simple, it's quite fast to do, and with a bit of learning and a bit of practice we can do this as well. So now let's get right into it. So let's just get started. So what I did was I basically made a solid color here, and I basically color picked the color from the Spain jersey. So I basically color picked the color here, right? And basically what I did was I made this paint effect, right? This paint splatter effect. And how I did this was quite simple and quite easy to do. I basically picked my paintbrush, which is clicking B, and what I did was I went down and I had some stinging brushes, which I will try and put down in the description. If not, I'll make it available as soon as possible. So I basically picked, I think I used the first one or maybe the second one, and picked orange. Yeah, orange is kind of yellow, and I just basically painted around and make this cool effect, right? And I basically reduce opacity just a little bit, and that's how I was able to come up with this, right? Which is a really good effect to give to your background, right? If you are out of ideas and you don't really know what to do. So the next thing I did was I basically typed Yamal, right? Which is its name. I basically typed Yamal, and I used a script font. Then I basically added a displacement map effect on the text just to give it that effect, right? So also try and link the displacement effect I use also in the description. So just to help you guys when you're trying it. And basically added the glow. So let me show you quickly how I did the glow. I added a new layer. I picked brush. So let me go back to the normal. I made the brush soft, and I picked maybe a bit darker yellow, and I clicked 1, 2, and I changed the blending mode to linear dodge, right? So that's basically how I got this glow effect. So the next thing I did was I basically added the Lamine Yamal, right? I added the Lamine Yamal picture. And before that, so I needed to add a camera raw effect just to make it pop a little bit. I like it when my pictures pop and they look crisp and they look bright. So I basically let me show you the camera raw effect I use, right? It's not the same for all pictures, but when you're able to understand it and know what to do, what settings to make pictures look better, it's really going to be a game changer. So I increased the contrast. I reduced the highlight because the highlights were a bit too much. So I basically reduced it. I made the shadows 100 and the blacks 100. The reason why I bumped up the shadow and the brightness was when you add the texture and the clarity, it becomes dark. So you need to use these two to counter these effects down there. So I made the texture 35, clarity 36, and the decay says on 1. And the hue, this is basically the effect I use for the hue, the saturation as well. And I just sharpened it, added the noise reduction and the color reduction as well. So after adding that, I basically did my normal retouching. I think I made a video about retouching a few weeks back, and I'll basically link that up here in case you want to get a full insight of how I do my retouching. But quickly, I just make the eyes and the teeth white. So before, after, and I added the levels, right? The dark, just to make the dark part a bit darker and nice. Then I added the brightness, and I added the curves to the eyes just to make the eyes stand out a bit more. And I basically added highlights to these parts of the face, right? Just because we have a glow on the back and it's going to be on that part of the face. And I added a second one just to make it pop and stand out. I really like it when things pop and are bright. And I added a second glow effect, just I did the same way I showed you before. And this is the second Lamine Yamal. I added the same camera raw effect that I did for the first one, and basically the same retouching methods. Hue and saturation for the teeth and the eyes, or any white thing we have on here, right? And I did the levels for the dark parts, the brightness for the bright parts, and I did the curves just to make the eyes stand out, right? And it catches your attention when you're looking at the face and the eyes pop. It's really amazing. Then I basically added the glow effect that I did for the first one as well, and that makes it look a whole lot better, right? A whole lot better. I just added this pitch effect just to give it a bit of a vibe, you get me? A bit of a vibe and all these kind of things. So I added a shape down here and basically the shadows, right? I added the floor shadows for the main picture. I added the perspective shadows, and I basically now brought the picture in the same camera raw effect that I did. Hue and saturation, but for this time I applied hue and saturation around the white things here as well, right? And the levels, the brightness, the curves for the eyes, and the glow as well. The same process being repeated, right? Then I basically added the floor shadows, right? The body shadows, sorry, to the picture. And from there, I basically started with the main thing, which is the flags for the countries, so Spain, Croatia. Now that the name made the Spain bold, the Croatia a bit light, right? So that the Spain stands out because the player is from Spain. I did a rectangle and I did the verses, right? And I did the same thing for the time. And what else did I do? The next thing was basically I basically combined everything into one layer. So how to do this? You do Shift, Control, Alt, E if you're on Windows, right? You do that, and I'll put there how to do that for Mac as well. But I've forgotten how to do that for Mac, but I'll put it on the screen so you guys have an idea if you are using Mac. I basically combined everything together and I converted into a smart object and I added camera raw effect. Let me take you through the final camera raw effect that I did. So I basically increased exposure to just 5, right? Just to give it a bit of brightness, right? Increase the contrast to 6, so the shadows down a bit, the blacks down a bit, and the whites 13. So before and after, not much of a difference, right? But you can tell that there's not much of a difference. And the texture, I made a texture for clarity for vignette, just one to give a bit of dark around the edges. The grain 26, I like grains a lot. It just makes it really good, and it helps when your pictures are not really good quality. It just makes it all blend. I increased, so I didn't really touch the hue here. I increased the saturation for the reds, the orange, and the yellows as well. And I did a bit of color grading, right? Just makes it different. You can see from if it was a big yellowish, I just added a big color grading just to make it really look nice. And the sharpening, and that was basically what I did, right? And then I added this glitch effect where I basically duplicate, I double click, then I come to the channels here. So this time I wanted only red, but if I click green, I can get combination with yellow, and this is the normal one. So I use red, and I just move the thing up a little bit, right? And you can see the effect. If you look in the eyes, you see the glitch effect, right? It just sells it a bit more. And I basically then added the color lookup. To get the color lookup, you go to the adjustment, we have color lookup here, and we have a lot of already installed loot here, right, that you can use. You can install your own loot, but the ones here are already amazing. So I basically use the 2 strip, reduce the opacity a little bit. You can also paint where you want the effect to come. I use the 3 strip as well, reduce the opacity to 11. I use a drop blues because I wanted to drop the blues just a little bit, right? And you could see the effect on the shot. It just, I don't know, it just looks nice for me. And the 4 colors as well, I did 14. And yeah, I think that was basically it, right? So this is basically how I came up with this Lamine Yamal poster. really quick to do, really easy to do. And the more you practice, the more you're able to understand all these things. So I think this brings to the end this video. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section and I'll do my best to reply. Or you can send me a DM in my Instagram, which I'll put on the screen, and we can have a chat and see how this can help you guys. And I also sell packs on my Patreon as well. So if you want any packs to go, if you want my packs to go through and basically understand how I do things, you can subscribe to my Patreon and just purchase the packs one time and just learn with that as well.